Yes guys, another video from me, Chase Manager 0102, and another player profile. I did mention this in one of my previous player profiles that this guy would probably be next. And this is the legendary David Seaman. Now, some argue that maybe Seaman should have retired a little bit before that he did, given his latter stages of his career, costly errors that are, and I'm sure you all know which one I'm referring to, the one against Ronaldinho. Now, he's as loyal as they come, David Seaman, but the reason I've got such a soft spot for David Seaman is because he originates from my local team. That's where he made his name, that's where I'm from, Peterborough. Excuse me. So he's from Peterborough. That's where I'm not from Peterborough. That's where he started because he's obviously from Leeds and never broke into Leeds. But you know, that's where he made his name. Peterborough. He made close to 100 appearances. And in typical Peterborough United fashion, we sold him. Of course we did. When he went to Birmingham City. Birmingham, he then got his move to QPR. QPR did really well for 4 years, in excess of 104 appearances before Arsenal. Now in total, I did write this down, I wrote all my notes down. Arsenal, we went in 1990. He left Arsenal in 2003, so that would make sense. I think he retired. No, he didn't retire at all. He left Arsenal. He actually went to Man City after that, but he had over 400 appearances for Arsenal. He was certainly part of the famous Arsenal back line. That included Dixon, Winterburn, Adams, Keown, Steve Bold. And also 75 caps for England, an additional 6 for the B team, and an additional 10 for the under-21s. But, he made his debut for England in 1988. Now, I didn't even know that until I wrote it down. Because obviously, I would have only been like 8-9 years old when he made his debut. And for me, the main goalkeepers was Peter Shilton and Chris Woods. I didn't realise that Seaman was there and thereabouts. So, to be fair, he made his debut for England when he weren't even at Arsenal. So, that just proves how he developed even more. But yeah, he went to Man City in 03-04. Now, I'll be honest with you, I don't even remember that. I really don't even remember him going to Man City. But in total, because he is now 59 years of age, he had made 700 odd appearances, 731 to be precise. No goals, which don't surprise me. But going back to what I said at the start, he was actually Leeds prodigy, Leeds youth, back in 81-82. But it was Peterborough United that gave him his first professional contract. So that is the history on the legend himself. But in terms of CM, now I think I've given him a shot a couple of times, and he can be, for the first season, he can be quite hit and miss. As you can see, I've fired up a test game here, and he's very hit and miss of how he'll develop. It depends if he's given games, really. Arsenal start with not the greatest goalkeepers available to them, and Graham Stack's just a youngster. Holloway is an even younger kid. Taylor's a youngster. Alex Mallon is quite a good goalkeeper, but he starts out on loan. So Seaman tends to play. The problem with the CMO 102 is I find Seaman tends to either just get left to rot in reserves, that's why Arsenal don't do too brilliant, or he gets a job as a manager, like a player manager. But as you see, he's got a manager job release clause. Even though he's got no manager attributes, but he has got the manager job release clause, which is why he tends to end up fucking off. But as you probably already saw there, he also starts in the generated England squad, because he was part of the England setup when this game was done. Now, in terms of his competition, Richard Wright was up and coming. He got that move to Arsenal that same year. So Seaman was still number one, in my opinion. Nigel Martin was a decent goalkeeper. Was he up to the same standard as David Seaman? Well, in my opinion, no. So, like I say, it weren't until 2000, and he started to make a few errors, I think, in 01, weren't it? This season, actually. But he made, I remember, did he fuck up against Macedonia? Did he let a corner kick go in? And then the Ronaldinho game, Brazil game against Ronaldinho goal in the World Cup in 2002, and it was the end of the road really for him. But a lovely guy, great guy. I really fucking hated his ponytail. I hated it. I was like, come on, Jesus Christ. I mean, I distinctly remember, right, I can't remember what year this was, but there was something with Seaman when I was growing up, and you're looking really around, and I say growing up, so I'd have been about 16, 17, roughly around 96, 97, 98. I just always used to read the back of the newspaper and think it was gospel, as we all did, until I got older and realised it was a load of bollocks. But basically, I remember Barcelona were linked with David Seaman. It might have been close to around 96 when his heroics for... Because I remember, I think he was in his 30s, so that'd be about 31, 32, and I think Barcelona were linked with him. But in terms of the attributes, I mean, one thing I've never even tried, and fucking stupidly and bizarrely, is to look for his regen, because his regen will appear after he fucks off out the game, and based on his attributes to start off with, he's got some really good attributes. I mean, long shots 11, I'd be worried about a goalkeeper having good long shots, but he's got handling, he's got reflexes, he's got positioning, he's got, well, jumping is there, bravery is almost at its very best, determination, decisions, he's got some absolute awesome attributes, even the fourth column hidden attributes, big matches, consistency, loyalty, one-on-ones, you know, he really is, I mean, I thought he had less pace than 11, but he really is the bollocks. Maybe at the age of 37, I don't know, maybe it's a bit too much, I don't know, but I mean, still got 14 stamina, 15 strength, tackling, he really is a modern day Alisson with some of those attributes. He really is the bollocks. So that is the legendary, the great David Seaman. No jokes, please. If you've got anybody you want doing a player profile on, do let me know, and I will gladly do one for you. And hopefully, if I know more about them, I can reel off more information. If it's someone that I'm not so familiar with, particularly in CM, like Dave Besant, my previous one, I wasn't quite so familiar with Dave Besant. I will still do what I can anyway. Till next time, guys, take it easy from me.